I'm so glad you're here listening to the Sustain Your Passion podcast. I'm Genesis, your host and business development expert. If you're ready to make a bigger impact and income while helping others, then you're in the right place. Thanks for joining me, and I can't wait to help you sustain your passion. Hi, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Sustain Your Passion. I am so excited today to be talking to a client and friend that is just an amazing colleague in the coaching space. Veronica Yao is here today to talk to us about what it's been like to be a career coach for neurodivergent individuals, being a contestant, that's not right, a client in Passion to Paychecks, and her massive success of her Facebook group that's like bananas and blowing up. I can't wait to tell you all about it. So, Veronica, can you just give folks a quick intro, tell them about where to find you on the internet, and then we can dive into all these juicy questions I've got for you.
Hey, Genesis. Thanks so much for having me, first of all. I'm super excited to be here. And yeah, a little bit about myself. My name is Veronica Yao, as you know. I'm the career coach behind Atypical Careers. And what my mission is to help neurodivergent professionals like myself who are going through burnout at work, break that burnout cycle and build more sustainable work lives for themselves. So I do that through my Peace at Work coaching program, and I'm so excited to be able to share a little bit about it today.
Yay. Oh, that's so cool. And where can people find you online? You know, if Peace at Work sounds right for them, if they're a neurodivergent mind and they're looking for a career change, where could they best connect with you? Where do you hang
Uh,
out online?
Absolutely. I'm on a couple of different platforms, but the main ones that you can find me on are Facebook. I do have a Facebook group, as you mentioned, which has been growing like crazy as of
Yes.
late, which I'm sure we'll talk about a little bit
Yeah.
later. But that one is called Neurodivergent Careers and Job Hunting.
Nice.
And it's orange and yellow. You can't miss it. Nice and bright. We're like a really great community of fellow neurodivergent professionals just chatting about our experiences in the workplace. And the other place you can find me is on my website, which is atypicalcareers.com. Exactly how it sounds. You can Google it, and yeah, those are probably the best places to find me.
Awesome. Great. Okay. So if you hear anything in this podcast that you're like, ooh, that's interesting, I want to know more about what Veronica thinks about this, or I need some help with that about your career, like check out Veronica's resources because they're so good. And let's dive into your journey. Can you just talk to me a bit more about how you started this business?
Oh, wow. So, you know what? This business has been a long time coming, and it really came it really progressed based off of my own discovery of myself. So, back in my 20s, I didn't know that I was neurodivergent. I didn't have my ADHD diagnosis yet. All I knew is that I was a really hardworking person who wanted to do her best in her career and achieve some stuff and everything. And I was very good at what I did, but what I didn't understand was why I continued burning out over and over and over again. And that
Mm.
really came, and through learning through many trial and errors, of how to best adapt to a workplace that felt so foreign to the way that I felt that I needed to work. It finally all came together with my my ADHD diagnosis,
Mm.
and everything just clicked. And I had that same epiphany that I know a lot of other neurodivergent people have, which is like, oh my gosh, everything is falling into place. It explains so much of, why I felt the way I did, why I always felt like an outsider, even though I knew that I was technically included and I was going through the motions of
Hmm.
doing everything. So that feeling was it really empowered me to really take control. And I realized that through my career journey, I actually did have a lot of experience that would in the HR and recruitment space. That's just where I happen to do most of my marketing career. And I developed a lot of best practices and educational things, and it actually even led me to be doing a resume writing side business for a while on the side, which I
Mm-hmm.
called Career Pros at the time. And that was Career Pros was really kind of like the early stages of what would eventually become atypical careers. It was where I really got my roots in coaching and talking to people, because I really liked to have organic conversations with people. I really
Mm.
wanted to understand not just what to put on a piece of paper, but what was really motivating them as an individual, in the workplace. And so when I finally discovered my neurodivergence, I realized this is where I need to be. I need to actually be helping people who are going through the same journey that I'm going through, and really using the experiences that I have and my unique and the fact that I'm uniquely positioned to understand careers in particular, which is such an area that people who are neurodivergent struggle with. And it just kind of felt like a calling. It felt like I needed to be there. And so, luckily, through my own research, I connected with Eugenesis, online. I think we
Yeah.
found each other through another Facebook group or something like that. But,
Mm-hmm.
I started Passion to Paychecks because, I wanted to set myself up for success. And, I wanted to find, a community of people who would be able to support me with that. And, here we are today chatting it up. And I have a business that is ready to go. So I'm very excited about that.
Yes, that's so cool. I love that you really do just facilitate community everywhere you go, Veronica. And like that's so important to you and is so clear that like you know that as neurodivergent professionals, whether you're working in a job or working in a business, like it's important to know who's around you and who's got your back. And you lived that value by joining Passion to Paycheck. So I just think that's so cool. And everybody I know that has met you through it is so excited to stay connected as your Facebook group keeps growing and your business. Like it's just, oh, it's so clear now, like who you're here to help, what you're going to do with them. And you've got this whole program, Peace at Work, fully developed. And like you're launching it right now. And your
Yeah.
Facebook group just keeps growing. So, okay, talk to me about like what is happening in your Facebook group. How the heck are you growing it so well? Just
Oh
tell
my
the
God.
people that are listening, like, when did you start it? Where is it at? How the fuck are you doing this?
Oh my gosh. You know what? Like, there's a part of me that doesn't even believe how much
Right.
this group has grown. Like, there's a part of me that is just like, you are dreaming, like, pinch yourself, right? But, so going back, I mentioned briefly earlier that, the beginning of my career was in marketing. And so I'm not a stranger to, my background was in copywriting. So I'm a writer by trade. I did do community management, but I had never I had never managed a group that had as much purpose and as much meaning and as much need in the community as what I'm doing right now. So when I started this group, I think it was back in June of last year, June 2023. And it started off pretty quiet. Like, I gotta admit, I even got distracted for a couple of months and I didn't even do anything on it, and I came back to it. But in the fall, I really started ramping up. I started
Mm.
I started promoting on other groups. So, luckily neurodivergent people like to hang out on the internet. So
Yes, we
it's
do.
exactly, and
True.
we love our memes. We love, sharing our thoughts and finding like-minded people and stuff. So what I was really doing was I was going to other Facebook groups, usually meme pages or something like that, where people were just kind of like, shooting the shit and like, just talking
Hmm.
it out.
Hmm.
And often I noticed so often people would come on just to vent about like, their work, or like they're panicking because, they have like, you know they have an interview coming up or something like that, and they had no place to go to put that. So I started responding, and the key thing is I wanted to make sure I was providing value before I was promoting myself, and that's just something I like to do. It makes me feel better about myself, and it
Totally.
makes me feel like, I'm putting good out there first before anything. And so what I would always do is I would put a comment, and I would do say something that was genuinely like contributing to their to the solution for their problem, or like I'm giving them kind words or something. And then at the bottom I would just say, by the way, if you need a more specific community, check this page out, or like, I
Hmm.
recommend this page, and I would just tag my group in the bottom. It's very like, I don't like to be beating people over the head and being like, join my group. But
Yeah.
but this way I wanted to show that I genuinely had to care about them,
Mhm.
And then at the same time, here's a resource in case you're interested. And I think that positioning it that way was really effective. People read the comments, people clicked through and started looking, and we had some pretty steady growth for a while. And until last February 2024, which was just like last month, we hit
Right.
5,000 people, which was
Right.
incredible, and I was celebrating that. But then
Yes.
somehow the Facebook algorithm just started picking us up, and in a short month and a half, so over the past 6 weeks, we've
Uh-huh.
grown. And now I'm looking at the page right now because I want to
Yeah.
get the number right. We are at 35
Ah!
thousand point
Ah!
35.5 thousand members.
Holy crap, Veronica. Okay, let's just pause for a second. You have
Yeah.
over 35,000 community members. Could you
Yeah,
picture, like, that's like a stadium full of people?
it
That's
is.
like a concert hall packed to the brim of people that want to know about your work, that need your work, that value it, and that found you. Oh my God, on the big wild west of the internet. Like, we figured it out and you marketed so well. Oh my goodness. That is so
Yeah,
freaking cool.
it is the coolest. And
That's
honestly, like,
amazing, man.
it was really fulfilling to me, not just as an entrepreneur, but like the marketer side of me was just like, oh my gosh, I had
Mm-hmm.
this in me all along.
Oh,
And
yeah.
and all I needed to find really was the right subject and something that was needed. Like like what I'm the most proud of so far is that I identified a need in a community that
Yeah.
that had so much potential. Like, can you imagine if in the workplace neurodivergent people were, accommodated, or even
Mm,
better, like if we took their viewpoints into consideration when designing our workplaces, and
yes.
then empowered us. Like I like to say, like, if it wasn't for certain things in our society, we would be super powered.
Yeah.
Like we
Right.
would be overpowered. Like,
Yes.
like everything between like hyper focus and our passion for what we do, just like,
Mm-hmm.
how hard we work and everything.
Our
And I
sense of justice and like wanting to do good for
absolutely.
others. Like, hell yeah.
Exactly. And can you imagine if more people like that were in positions of influence, if people were able to get
Mm,
past those initial barriers of, like, applying for jobs and slogging through the interview process, and then being able to present themselves like at work and do their best work. Like, if they were able to climb up to positions of influence and they're able to create and to pave the road for other people, well, I'm just so happy that I can be a part of that revolution. And I think it's coming because as more and more of us discover our neurodivergence,
mm.
and more of us kind of like, really own that identity, and find their power in it, then we're going to really see a shift in the way that we work, in the way, and the impact that we're going to have on culture and on society. So yeah, we're talking big here now. But yeah,
Right.
that
I
it's just
love
very
it.
exciting to be part of it.
That's so cool. I mean, that is where you're headed, right? Like having a community that is that big and actively growing, like in the last month, right? Like you are now opening yourself up to so many different business avenues, not only like self funding your own business, right? Your own offers, you're finding leads through this. And like you have a marketing funnel and you're nurturing people and getting sales calls and all those good things. But also, you now have a community that, in and of itself, your audience can become a business asset. And what that means is like if you were to start partnering with people that you want to do referrals to, let's say 1% of that 35,000 people buy, a $50 offer that you are partnering with someone else to refer because you now have this big audience that listens to you, that participates, that
Yeah.
cares about what you do. Like if 1% of them bought at, let's say, 50 or $100, like we're talking thousands of dollars of partnership opportunity. And that's something you haven't even tapped into yet. Like there's just so
Mhm.
many different ways that having a community that you curated available is going to not only benefit each and every one of them, because I'm in that group, I see the questions, I see the stories, like it's so helpful. And people are really thriving in the space itself. But then also now, like when you want to do market research, if you want to partner with other people, if you want to launch a new program, like you can actively ask them and then tailor your marketing back to their words. Like that is so valuable to have, Veronica.
Oh, for sure. And I've already started doing that. I mean, like, even
Cool. Tell
just
me about it.
asking simple things
Mhm.
like, what is the best format for that you learn from? Like, so like video
Ooh,
format
yep.
versus like, reading text versus I don't know, interactive activities and webinars and stuff like that. Like things like that. I have like I work really hard to keep my group engaged because like this is like just like such valuable information that as
Right.
entrepreneurs we can use so that we can not only like maximize our impact and like do what we need to do to make our businesses successful, but also make sure that it's making the most positive impact on the people who are receiving this content and who are receiving
Mhm.
and who are receiving this information from you. And like I really want to show through every aspect of my business as much as I can that I am here to represent for the neurodivergent community. And I want to take into account, not just, say that I'm supporting them, but like show through my actions that I've considered their perspective and their point of view. And I really want to try and deliver that. And obviously, like neurodivergent people are so like diverse that it's impossible to cater to everybody. But just
Mm.
like to show that you're thinking about these things, I feel like
Mhm.
goes a long way. And I
Yeah.
think people can sense that.
Absolutely. And I think even, under the umbrella of neurodivergence, like I often play in this space as well, right? With OCD, ADHD, PTSD, all the things. Like it's one of those identities that unfortunately I think for a long time people felt kept out of, but as more and more of these online spaces are growing, people are finding that like, oh shit, I'm neurodivergent and there's a community that I belong in and I can do my life better now because I have this community resource and you built that space for people that were looking for it. And now you just kind of get to sit back and like watch the group grow. Like, what does maintenance even look like for you these days? A lot of,
I mean,
I would guess it's different than what it was, even 3 months ago.
well, I gotta tell you, like we're just coming off of that spike in member requests. So remember when I said that we grew like in 1.5 months from 5,000 to like 35,000? That means that we were
Yeah.
getting like over 1,000 requests a day. So
Oh my
for a
gosh.
while, it was really like I was trying to figure out a way to kind of like streamline that process, but it was like 2 to 3 hours a day just accepting member requests.
Oh my goodness.
But I knew the logical side of my brain, like the marketer in me was just like, okay, this can't go on forever. We just need to get over this hump. Like the Facebook algorithm is in our favor. Let's make the most of it. And I
Yeah.
got a lot of great leads for my webinar, which I'm sure we'll talk about later,
Mhm.
for that. And yeah, but other than that, the community we've built is actually pretty great. I don't like, I do try and look through the conversations as much as possible, but honestly, it's
Mhm.
impossible to keep up with everything. And so I
Yeah.
really rely on my community members to report things that are against the rules and stuff like that. But
Mm.
I think what comes with that is I really needed to define the rules really clearly. And I really had to think very deeply about that. I've revised the rules a few times,
Mhm.
and we're just trying to find the right balance of making sure that we can try and we have rules that try and make sure that everybody's conduct is expected to be like respectful and kind and all of those things. But at the same time, I can't guarantee, like, it's the internet, right? Like, I can't guarantee the your experience. But that being said, like,
Sure.
having the right structure in place will alleviate a lot of the work you have to do, because a lot of the work you have to do is decision making. Should I ban this
Mhm.
post? Should I suspend this member or whatever? Like, do they align with the conduct? And I think that if you really understand like the structure that you've put in place in terms of rules, regulations, conduct of members, and what's expected and stuff like that, then it
Mhm.
really makes it easier on a day-to-day basis to make decisions and and manage the community to make, and people notice when you're putting in that kind of work. People have
Yeah.
noticed, and they recognize it. And I think that that's one of the most important things when managing a community, especially of this size.
Mhm.
So these days I'm not spending as much time on member requests, so I'm able to chill a little bit more.
Yeah.
But yeah, like a lot of it was putting in those structures in place, and that was very
That makes
important.
sense. That makes so much sense. That's kind of like with Passion to Paychecks, we start at branding, right? And that's really when I think of branding at its root, it's what kind of experience do you want to be shaping for the people you serve and for yourself? And then you did that, right? You got that clarity so clear that then it was really easy for other people to raise their hands and say, oh, that's me. Like, I
Yeah.
am neurodivergent and I am on the job hunt. Like, yes, help me. And so you're building this community. Talk to me about your webinar. Like, where are people signing up to continue getting to know you, like get your emails, that kind of thing? And how is your conversion going of like people actually signing up for your webinar? So we've got these thousands of people in your Facebook group. Are people signing
Yeah.
up for your webinar?
People are actually. So like
Good.
at one point I realized that I could put and I think this was your recommendation, Genesis,
Hmm.
to put in the membership questions when they first join the group an
Hmm.
optional thing where they can leave their email if they would like to receive access to the free webinar.
Yeah.
And what is this free webinar? Basically, I put together an online pre-recorded webinar. It lives online, and so basically, if you register and for access to this webinar, you will receive the video, which will walk you through basically my Peace at Work program. And Peace at Work is basically breaks down the 5 areas of your work life that you need to work on, and in order to work towards a sustainable work life. And by that I mean breaking the cycle of constant burnout and making sure that you have the tools and you have the structure set in place so that you can find success in your work life and personal life.
Mm.
You make sure that your work life is not overtaking your personal life so that you can actually do the things that you're passionate about and really and really do those kinds of things there. So that's really what the webinar is all about. And I've received some
Beautiful.
great feedback so far, and I'm
Cool.
really looking forward to seeing how this program continues to evolve over time as more people go through it and more people experience it and everything like that.
That makes so much sense. I love that you have such a beautiful pathway and like that while there is some manual work in terms of like if people are signing up for your webinar through the questions, like it's mostly automated, right? For people to like find your Facebook group, join your Facebook group, engage with your content, find your webinar, sign up for your webinar, get your emails, and then book a call with you. Like the fact that all of that is automated is so necessary because if you
Absolutely.
didn't have that done, your 35,000 leads wouldn't be getting nurtured. Like, I can only imagine that you've got hundreds, if not 1,000 or more people on your email list by now, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, it's in the thousands for sure.
Oh my
And
gosh.
and I think I launched this program like just at the beginning of this year. So like that's
Yeah.
really like it was bananas. I bought the lowest tier software service for my email marketing because I didn't think I
Uh-huh.
would need that many leads, but we've already passed that, and now I've had to upgrade to accommodate how many leads that I
Wow.
have.
What a good problem. Like,
What a
that's the
great
best problem.
problem, right? Yeah, like, I'm
I
just,
have too many leads. Oh no.
oh no, right? But this is what we were facing. And,
That's
so
the
it just goes to
goal.
show
Yeah.
that, it can happen. It can
Mm-hmm.
absolutely happen. And, I definitely attribute it to the fact that I found like, a community that, really needed something. And I happen to be in a position to be able to provide that service. So I'm really excited to be part of this next stage for our community and really make sure
Hmm.
that they get the support that they need to find success, whatever success looks like to them.
Yeah, I love that so much. That's the only way to really support a neurodivergent person. We
Mhm.
can't meet every individual's needs if we aren't offering that flexibility to co-create what the experience looks like, right? And it sounds like you're doing that so well with your community leadership and asking people for feedback and, facilitating questions and communication and conversation. So, oh, I'm just so happy for you. What else do you feel like has contributed to your success at this point? You've been in business, you've got a thriving community, you've got a marketing funnel, you've got an offer, you're, doing all the things. Like, what do
Mhm.
you think has been some of your like best advice you've received or maybe like advice you would want to give? I'm just curious as we wrap up this podcast, like, what do
Yeah.
you think if you could talk to yourself a year ago? What would you be telling yourself?
I would tell myself that it's so it a lot of my success has come down to the people that I surround myself with.
Mm.
This is something that I learned, like, later in my career, when I'm exiting my 20s and I'm starting to learn that, the people who you keep around you, like, it's best to treat it like almost like an exclusive club, right? Like, you
Mhm.
don't like, and because of that, you need to also, as an entrepreneur, seek out other people, entrepreneurs who are like-minded, who will support you, who will be your cheerleader, who will do all those things. And so that's part of what I was looking for when I came to Passion to Paychecks, because I didn't have that community just yet. Now I
Mm.
do have a community through that program. I actually met a whole bunch of different people. We're
Mm.
continuing to collaborate and find different ways. Like, I found a lot of other people who also target neurodivergent people,
Mm.
and why would we not work together to give each other referrals or to
Mm.
collaborate and create content to help other people and stuff like that. So it's been really rewarding, and not only benefiting my business on the business side, but also, like, for me personally, like, it helps motivate me, it helps me stay inspired.
Mm.
Being an entrepreneur, a solo entrepreneur, can get kind of lonely and
Yeah.
isolating, and so it's so important to build that structure for yourself. I keep saying it, building a structure for yourself gives you something to lean on during the tough times.
Mm.
So the
Mm.
sooner you can build that structure and give yourself that support, then the better off you will be, because you're going to have down days and you need to be able to pick yourself back up.
Oh my gosh, that is so real, especially your first couple years in business. It's kind of like you don't really know if you're doing anything. You don't really have any results to show yet, but like you're really committed to a dream. And so
Yeah.
having people that you can share with that understand that see your dream, believe your vision with you, know that it matters and can help you get there, right? Like I'm thinking of some of the different connections I've seen you build through Passion to Paychecks, whether that's, a friend to go meet up with at the park or, somebody you're going to refer clients back and forth to or someone you're going to create a resource with. Like that was your decisions and you leaning into the fact that even though you didn't have like a perfect roadmap in front of you, you know what matters most to you. You know, community is important and you just embedded that in your decisions all the way through. So I just really hope that other folks that are listening hear how important it is to say yes to that coffee chat. Like
Yes.
respond to that message, like sign up for that free thing where you swap services with someone and get to know them. Like that online experience can be really isolating, or as Veronica just taught us, like it can be really beautiful and you can end up with an amazing community on the other side of your first couple years of business that emulates through your life. Like I just feel like that's such a clear value of yours is to build community and
Mm-hmm.
looking at your business and your life and the things that you create, like it's so visible that you walk that value and you live that value. And so I'm just so excited to see where your business is going to be in a year. Like, oh my gosh, I feel like you're going to be getting interviewed of like, tell us about the neurodivergent career thinking. And like, you're going to have access to answer those questions and speak on behalf of like so many people that have had our voice ignored. So I just love that you are leading this community. I don't know anyone better for it. And gosh, is there just any other wisdom you can share with us today that you want to make sure we talk about before I let you go?
Just, the biggest thing I've learned on this journey is the better you know yourself, the more you're empowered to make changes around you, whether whatever changes that may be.
Hmm.
For a long time, I was the kind of person who, and I know a lot of people, especially neurodivergent people, who will understand this, but it feels selfish to kind of like, take self-care sometimes feels selfish because you feel like you need
Mm-hmm.
to help other people. You feel like you need to do that. But one
Mm-hmm.
of the biggest mind set shifts that I've had in recent years that really helped me is the fact that investing in myself is going to position me in a way where I will have more capacity to help other people around me. And if
Mm.
I don't do that self-care and I don't take care of myself, then I'm not going to be in a position to help anybody. So really, self-care is the best form of helping the people that you love and, like, spreading that good that you want to do. So
Mm-hmm.
that's really, that would probably be my biggest thing that I've learned, and
Mm,
I really hope that other people will kind of identify with that, because it is so important. Take care of yourself. That's part of why I started this business, because
mm.
I want to set myself up in the future to be able to help the people I love and everything, and have that flexibility. And so that's why I'm investing in this business and in myself, so that so that everybody around me can benefit. So yeah.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I love that. You are truly embodying the sustain your passion mindset, right? Of like, you want to reach your biggest business goals, you want a good life, you want to live your values out. And that starts with knowing what the heck you want and what is actually going to make you happy. And you're never going to figure that out unless you go inward first and then make some hard decisions. But on the other side is people that get you and like a lifestyle you truly enjoy and it's so
Yeah.
worth it. Oh, so many good pieces of wisdom in here. Thank you so much for your time, Veronica. Can you remind folks your Facebook group name if they want to come find you? And then we can wrap up this podcast.
Absolutely. You can find us on Facebook. The Facebook group is called Neurodivergent Careers and Job Hunting. And as for me, you can also find me on my website, which is atypicalcareers.com. And again, my name is Veronica Yao, and you can just Google me and you'll probably find me. So yeah.
Yay, so good. Okay, thank you so much again for your time. Be sure to connect with Veronica online if you are neurodivergent and you are doing any career exploration. There's a thriving Facebook group waiting for you, so many resources. And I just can't wait to have you back, Veronica, in like a year or so and see what is new for you and Atypical Careers. Thanks again for your time, and I hope everyone has a great week. Take care. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Sustain Your Passion podcast. If this episode helped you gain a bit more clarity, courage, or confidence, please share it with your friends on social media or in a text. It would mean the world to me. Thanks in advance for sharing this episode. I hope you have a great week, and I'll talk to you soon.